Hello, and welcome to Coffee on Korriban. Very different format than what I'm used to, and also the lighting is not very great because we're trying to keep it a little bit dark so the girls stay asleep tonight. But you may have seen the title and thought, what is he doing? Because if you know me and my opinions on the sequel trilogy, you'll know that I am not a fan of the sequels at all, like a lot of other people, but I am also not a fan of The Force Awakens. I'm different than most people, I suppose, because a lot of people have the opinion and the story that they went to see The Force Awakens, they loved it. They walked out of the theater feeling like, finally, we get Star Wars back, and I'm so excited to see what is coming next. What is in Episode 8? And I get that. I get how people walked out of there satisfied. Their questions were answered. Everything was set up. So I can see how they feel that way. But from right around the 5-minute mark of The Force Awakens, it wasn't working for me. I walked out of the theater. Actually, I didn't even watch it in the theater. I watched it once it came on Redbox. But I walked out of, now she's my wife, out of her house after we watched it thinking, that was kind of terrible. And I wasn't as big of a Star Wars fan as I am now, but it just didn't feel right to me. Something about it just did not feel right. Let's give out some quick sips real quick. We got Everest Production in the house. Here's a sip for you. We've got Purple Valkyrie. Here's a sip for you. Dawn Clatterman. Here's a sip for you. And I hope you like that coffee maker that you got in the giveaway. And we got Steve. Here's a sip for you. And Chaza. Here's a sip for you. So, going back to my opinion of The Force Awakens, I think it was at the very beginning, we get Kylo Ren. His intro is amazing. He freezes the blaster bolt in midair. That's amazing. We haven't seen that before. And we get the sense that he's immensely powerful, like a Darksider should be. But then Poe gets brought before him. And you're expecting him to say something really ominous and menacing and give us a clue as to what his character is like. And Poe looks up at him and he says, so what, you talk first? I talk first? And it just kind of hit me the wrong way. Like, that dialogue doesn't seem like it fits in Star Wars. I don't know about that. I don't know how I feel about that. So that was my first clue. As it went through, I didn't really have a problem with Rey at the beginning. I don't think anyone did. The intro is actually a pretty cool scene where we get to see the scale of the Star Destroyers as they're laying on the sands of Jakku. But as we got farther into the movie, it didn't feel Star Wars. And that's kind of a theme with the sequels. It didn't feel right. Something didn't feel right. And what is that feeling? I have another video on that called Why Do We Love This So Much? Why do we invest in Star Wars? And it's the feeling of Star Wars. And for me, I want to feel like I'm there. And I don't know if it was The Force Awakens, the world was too fantastic for Star Wars, which is really hard to do because Star Wars is a fantastic place with all these different planets and alien races. And so it shouldn't be that. But what was the feeling that was different about the sequel trilogy? I don't know. It's very hard to quantify, but I did not like The Force Awakens. And then, of course, we got The Last Jedi. Didn't like that. Rise of Skywalker, you can assume the same. But I was one of those rare people who didn't like The Force Awakens from the very beginning. And I couldn't have foreseen what we would get in the next few movies because I don't think anyone could have. And whether you like him or not, you have to admit that they kind of divided the fan base in a pretty significant way. A lot of people are still scorned to this day from that. So a lot of people, including myself, were hurt. Now, I don't have the amount of nostalgia that some people do for the original trilogy because personally, I'm a prequel guy. I love the prequels more than the originals. I respect the originals. I enjoy them. I love them. But the prequels is where it's at for me. That's where it feels the most Star Wars for me. Never go thirsty streaming. Yeah. So I didn't have a whole lot of nostalgia for the original trilogy like a lot of other people do. So I imagine Luke being on the island as a hermit stung people more than it did for me. I had my own personal gripes with the sequels. But going back to The Force Awakens, I didn't love it like everyone else did. It seemed like everyone around me was saying like, oh, this is the best movie. And sure, there's some little things that are different, but we have to assume that this is the new era of Star Wars, just like the prequels were. And I get that. The prequels were controversial when they came out. I wasn't into Star Wars then. I was very young at the time. But it seemed like everyone was kind of giving it the benefit of the doubt. And then when the Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker came out, then people looked back on The Force Awakens. But I was from the beginning not a fan of The Force Awakens. And I knew right off the bat that it could not fit into my head canon. And this is something I talk about a lot on my channel is head canon is the best canon. What you believe to be Star Wars is Star Wars for you. And at this point, we have so much saturation of Star Wars visual media, not to mention the comics and the books, because we can put that all aside. But as far as movies, we got 11 movies plus, if you include the Clone Wars or Solo, whatever you include, plus the TV shows. Now we have The Mandalorian, we have Book of Boba Fett coming out, all the upcoming stuff, the Ahsoka, Andor, Rangers in the New Republic, which I believe is still canceled as far as I know. But there's so much Star Wars media for people to consume that they can kind of pick and choose what they want to be their personal headcanon. I believe for my personal headcanon, KOTOR in the High Republic, the Knights of the Old Republic timeline is in my headcanon. That is Star Wars to me. And it feels just as Star Wars when I'm reading the Bane trilogy as it is when I'm watching the prequel trilogy in the movies. So headcanon is the best canon. I fully believe that. But I knew right off the bat that The Force Awakens could not fit into my headcanon. And I didn't know what to make of that from the beginning. So there's something that Kyle Katarn said to me in my last stream when I had him on my show this last Monday. And he said that it could have been because I kind of watched him expecting the worst out of them, that I didn't open myself up to enjoying any of it. And I did enjoy Rise of Skywalker. I said very controversially to friends and family after I saw the Rise of Skywalker, I have never been so entertained and disappointed at the same time. And I know a lot of other people felt the same way, but I knew right from the start that it wasn't going to fit into my headcanon. And I believe the reason why I shut myself off for The Rise of Skywalker and The Last Jedi is because I didn't want to enjoy them. I had in my mind, this is terrible, and I looked for the negatives. And I'm not denying that the negatives are not there, because they really are there, and they're apparent, whether it be bad acting in certain scenes, bad script, bad storytelling, bad storyline, just whatever the reasons are. There's a lot of it. And I mean, I haven't really met anyone that completely denies that there aren't flaws. But there's flaws in the other movies as well. The original trilogy, the prequels, I get that. but the amount of flaws are too much for me to overcome, I believe. So what I'm trying to do in rewatching The Force Awakens and giving it a second chance is to acknowledge the fact that I will never accept it into my headcanon. It's never going to be Star Wars for me. It's never going to have that feel. But if I can accept it as outside of Star Wars, is it possible for me to enjoy it? I don't know. I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to try my hardest to give it a real, legitimate chance. But I don't know. I don't know what the outcome will be. And will it turn out that I actually do enjoy it and it is watchable for me in the future and I can go back to it and acknowledge the fact that this isn't Star Wars for me, but I enjoy the movie? Or are those flaws that I mentioned, the bad story writing, the contradictions to the rest of the Star Wars franchise, is that going to be too much to overcome for me to even enjoy it? So, like I said, I kind of hardened my heart after that first scene, and that set the tone for the rest of the movie, and that movie set the tone for the rest of the next two movies. And so maybe I didn't even open myself up to enjoying them at all. I don't know. It's an interesting question, and I would like to think on one hand that I can enjoy it, that I can set aside, okay, I get it. I'll never love these movies, but can I enjoy myself watching them? But at the same time, like, I kind of want to keep hating them. It's in Count of Monte Cristo, when Mercedes is telling him, like, let go of your quest for vengeance, your desire for revenge. And he says, don't rob me of my hate. It's all I have. It's almost how I feel with regards to the sequel trilogy. It's like I have my legitimate reasons as to why I don't like them, but maybe I do like staying in the hate that I have for the sequel trilogy. And I tell people I don't hate them, but I can't stand them. I did try watching Rise of Skywalker a second time. I couldn't make it halfway through. But it could be, again, because I've hardened my heart to that and I haven't allowed myself to enjoy it. I don't know. We will see. But that's something that Kyle Katarn said when he was on my show on Monday, was, you kind of didn't look for any of the positives because you weren't wanting to. So maybe having a different opinion this time will make a difference. I don't know. I don't know. This is an experience. I'm trying to give it a second chance, and we will see what happens. But again, if I take this outside of canon, like let's say that the 2D Clone Wars that came out, and I believe it was 2003, that's not canon as of right now. As far as I know, it's not canon. Maybe it used to be at one time. I don't know. But I can enjoy it without it being canon. I can enjoy that it does break some of the rules that the Star Wars universe has. For example, the Mace Windu on Dantooine fight between him and all the droids when that boy is watching up on the ridge. The moves that he does in there are not canon. That can't happen in the Star Wars universe. But I can accept the fact that it's not fitting into the Star Wars universe, and I can enjoy it for what it is, a piece of artwork. Now, I don't want to call it The Last Jedi artwork or anything like that, because again, I still have my opinions on that. But can I accept it for what it is? That's the question. And it's the same way with Visions. I accept Visions for what it is because it's an art piece, essentially. Yes, exactly. Chaza. Is it Chaza? Chaza? I don't know. But yes, exactly like Visions. Like, it's not canon. It breaks a lot of the rules of the Star Wars universe, especially in timeline, if we're trying to fit it into the canon. But we can enjoy it and accept it. So I don't know. I'm very curious to Chaza. Chaza? I'm just going to say Chaza or something. But I just don't know what the outcome will be. I'm going to try to give it as fair of a shot as I can and open myself up. And it's something that I never really thought that I would do, is allow myself to watch these movies again. But me and, you see him in the chat here, Matt Cave, we are going to watch them. And then we'll have a stream talking through it, trying to pick out what we like, having real legitimate reasons for the things that we don't like, and we will see. He says, the more I've watched The Force Awakens, the more it feels like it's its own film rather than a copy of A New Hope. That's an interesting take because a lot of people still are holding on to the opinion that it is just a clone of A New Hope. All right. Cheza. I'm going to try. Cheza. Like huzzah, but Cheza. We'll try it like that. But I'm really going to try to give it a chance. By the way, I couldn't have found that watch party for The Force Awakens you posted in the Discord. Did I post a watch party for The Force Awakens? I don't think I did. But we'll see. We'll see what happens because I don't want to like it, but I might after giving it a fair shake. I really don't know. I really don't know. I'm going to try to give it as fair of a shake as I can. Maybe mine. Yeah, there's so many Discord servers and people sharing things, and it's hard to... He also says 2D Clone Wars was sort of canon. I don't know. We were talking about that with Matt Cave and Master Paul earlier tonight, if at the time it was supposed to be canon. But I don't know. I love it for what it is. I actually want to go rewatch it again soon. Did you do them mustache curls purposely, or are you seeing a dastardly villain? No, this was kind of me being lazy. I did kind of want them to go kind of just out, and then they kind of curled how they wanted to. So it's just kind of messy tonight. Didn't really do anything on purpose. Other thing I wanted to talk about was the Galactic Starcruiser hotel. There's been a lot of people talking about it. A lot of people hating on it. I don't want to hate on it. I want to try to offer solutions. I want to offer fixes as to how I would approach fixing it from what it is to where I would want it as a paying customer, as a Star Wars fan. So my first thought is it looks very generic. The hallways look generic. The lounge it just looks generic spaceship. Just sci-fi spaceship. There's nothing really special about it that screams Star Wars. And Star Wars has to have a certain taste, a certain flavor, a mix of technology, as Xwing put it the other night, where it's a blending of actually no, maybe it wasn't Xwing, maybe it was Kyle Katarn. It has to have a blending of old and new technology because it's technology that's far advanced over ours, but the tools and the materials they had to make that come to life back in the original trilogy were 70s technology, 80s technology. And so, thank you, dude. Appreciate that. Quick fix, tear it down and put it in the OT era and not the sequel trilogy. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, essentially. And I'm going to get to my reasons as to why I would like that in a second. But it has to have a mix of technology. There's a certain flavor of Star Wars that you can tell just by looking at something. Okay, that belongs in Star Wars. It's got to have that mix. Doctor Strange level epic. Thank you. But Star Wars has a flavor. That might just be me feeling that, but that's how I perceive it. And the biggest thing for Star Wars, whether it's in movies or books or whatever, I have to feel like I'm there, that this is a real place. The world building is the most important aspect for me. If it is, buy coffee. Don't you want to? Oh, but coffee. Don't you want to be tucked into bed by Ray Finn and say, sing you a bedtime story for an extra 300 years? Oh my gosh. That would be funny. That would be an experience, I'll tell you. But I want it to feel like I'm there. I don't want it to feel like I'm in a hotel with some vaguely Star Wars things thrown in. And that is the vibe that we got from the little promo they shared out. And there's a reason that it got taken down. Now, some people have said, oh, this is a sign that they're failing and it's going to be so terrible. The reason that they took their promo down is just because of all the hate and they want to avoid that and stuff. But Kyle Katarn said something that was actually pretty profound. The fact that they removed that promo means they're listening. It means they're hearing us, the fans. And whether they make the changes we would like to see or not, they're listening. So, if we come away from The Force Awakens feeling better about it, I say we push forward into the real test, The Last Jedi. That is, it's a very good point. And I feel like I can make it through the Force Awakens feeling okay. But again, we will see. But Star Wars has to make me feel like I'm there. And some examples, you just give me the Death Star hallway to walk down. It's not like you don't have like hundreds and thousands of pictures of what the original Death Star hallways looked like. Like give me that. Just put me there. That's all I care about, is give me something that I've seen 100 times in a movie and let me go there. That's worth the price for me. Give me a Star Destroyer hallway that I've seen in multiple scenes in Star Wars, and let me walk down it. That's all I want, is just a hallway, more than the hallway that we got in that promo. I say we, like I'm actually going to pay the money to go there, but I'll get to that in a second. Let me walk onto the bridge of a Venator class Republic cruiser, like where, which eventually became the Star Destroyers, but you see like the command little deck where Admiral Yularen is standing, and then down below in that little triangle shape down below is all the other clones piloting the different systems. Like, give me that. Let me walk there, because I've seen it. I know what it feels like. I know what it looks like. They know what it looks like. Just let me go there. Or the Tantive for, I don't know. But just let me go somewhere where I've seen. That's really all that. It doesn't have to be new or innovative. Just let me go to where my nostalgia is, my childhood is. Just let us see those places we've seen 100 times. And if something is off, we'll know it, because a lot of us grew up watching these things. And if it's not correct, if it's generic, we'll know, like we did with the other promo. Thoughts on Eclipse and its developers, or should we save that for the Monday debrief? I'll touch on it briefly. I was going to do a reaction, but then I realized I don't really play video games a whole lot. The last game I played was actually Knights of the Old Republic mobile, but I don't have a console except for PS2, which I never play. I don't game on my PC. I just don't game, so it didn't really seem like something that was that interesting to me. I did watch the trailer. It looks awesome. I don't know how it's going to tie into the main Star Wars storyline, but based on the promo, it looks awesome. The trailer that we got today. So that would be my thoughts on that. I'm not going to do a trailer breakdown or anything, because everyone else has already done that. But again, just if something's off, we'll know with those settings, with the places that we have in this Galactic Starcruiser hotel. Give us a view of Coruscant at night. Like, Anakin and Padme are sitting on their balcony, and she says, so love has blinded you? Or maybe when Anakin wakes up from his nightmare and he says, you die in childbirth. And like, you see the Coruscant skyline in the background, and there's the cool breeze. Like they know how to do that with the window. Maybe it's not a full balcony, but you can see out there, and you see the Coruscant skyline. Make me feel like I'm there. That's what I want. Or take me to Dantooine, where I have a view of the hills, and I'm in a little estate like from KOTOR. Like, let us stay in a little like domed stone building from Tatooine, and have there be sand on the floor. Like, that's all I want. Like, stuff us in the back of a sandcrawler where we have to lay down next to like a bunch of spare droid parts. Like, that's what we want. We don't desire luxury as Star Wars fans. We desire Star Wars as Star Wars fans. Like, I don't care about having the nicest bed, and I'm sure like for the price, that's their target demographic, is they want to try to go to the people with the money. But a lot of times their hardcore Star Wars fans don't have the money. And I mean, I'm the target demographic. I'm a mid-20s, really big Star Wars fan. I watch all the stuff that comes out. I buy the books. I don't have money for collectibles, but if I did, that's where I would be putting my extra cash. I'm their target demographic. And what I saw in the ad is not appealing to me. But again, like, we don't desire luxury. We desire Star Wars. I don't want a bed. Like, don't sell me a bed with like Darth Vader breathing down the hallway next door. I don't want that. I want to feel like I'm there. And I don't know why it isn't something that they try to put the effort into. Just give us the feel. Maybe they don't know what the feel is. I don't know. I want to hang out in a sandcrawler. Didn't know I wanted that. Yeah, it's like, give us like a little, like, here's your quarters, and you have to duck, and then there's like spare droids with like wires sticking out, and you have to like sit on the table. That's what we want. Just let me be there. That's that's all I want. Goggles and Gadgets says dig into different lighting. Yeah, it's try not to be too bright. My daughters are sleeping, and there's like a crack in the door, so I didn't want to be too bright tonight. But cool. I'm glad you like it. It's different. But yeah, just make me feel like I'm there. That's really all I need. And as far as like activities, like they were like, you can build your own lightsaber, with the lady doing the little like hologram on the light. I don't know if you guys saw that. Drunk 3PO did a video on that. With the iPhone flashlight, which is just terrible. I hope that's not a real thing, because it was embarrassing. But as far as like activities, give us like an option to choose a different path, like a theme for our particular stay. Like, you can go in as a Jedi, and all the activities for your stay are Jedi activities. You get to build your lightsaber. They take you through training. You get to learn the Jedi code. You get to walk the halls of the Jedi temple. Like, you get to walk through the Jedi archives. You get to see the seating for the Jedi Council. Like, you get to sit in Yoda's chair. How dope is that? Like, I would pay for that. If I got to walk onto the Jedi Council and sit in Yoda's chair and like stand there and have someone say like, take a seat. Like, I would love that. I would pay good money for that. Not bad money. I'd pay good money for that. Or you could be a bounty hunter, and they take you through like the Bounty Hunter Guild, and you familiarize yourself with the different bounty hunters throughout the galaxy, and they set you up on almost like and I know this is getting kind of cheesy, but like an escape room, but on a larger scale, and it's set up that you have to track down the bounty. Or like, take us through clone training, put us onto Camino, let us walk the halls, go into the mess hall to get lunch with the other clones. We walk through the cloning pods on Camino, and there's like a Camino one walking by us, like on stilts or whatever. Like, get me in there. Take me through the clone training. And it wouldn't be hard to get people to like actively play these roles for the people that you would come in contact with. Like, if you told me, like, here's like $150 a day, and you have to, for 8 hours, pretend to be an Imperial colonel or something. Like, here's your rank, here's your job, here's what you do. Walk the halls and be that character for $150 a day. I would do it. I would just be like, of course, well, welcome to the hotel. I'm glad you like this place. And over there, you can see the mess hall. You can grab your lunch. And if you need help getting back to your room, the elevator is right there. And I hope you enjoy your stay aboard the Death Star. Like, there are people that are passionate about Star Wars and also are wanting to be actors that would love to stay in character for 8 hours. And you just let them have fun. Like, I would do that for 8 hours. Yeah, Goggles and Gadgets says I might just do it for free. But seriously, though, like, you don't have to have Darth Vader walk through. You don't have to have Boba Fett walk through. You don't have to have the Emperor strolling down the hallway. The accent with a stash. Yeah. You don't have to have Kylo Ren walking down and then I will finish what he started. Like, you don't have to have actual well-known people from the Star Wars universe come and threaten you with anything. That sounds like the guy from No Country for Old Men. What's the most you ever lost in a coin toss? Like, this coin has been traveling around for 32 years and now it's here. Like, I love that movie. But like, just get people to play those roles, put me there, and just have people walking around that are just normal people. And the last thing I wanted to say was just sell us an experience, not a themed bed. Like, I don't want a Star Wars bed with Darth Vader breathing next door. Like, I want an experience. I want to be there. That's all I really care about. What we saw in the trailer was worth a few $100s. It was not worth the $6,000 or whatever the price tag was that they put on it. And then I just would, to finish this out, I appreciate everyone for stopping by. To finish this out, I'm the target demographic that they're shopping for. I don't have tons of money, but I am the Star Wars fan that they want to show up to their hotel, unless I'm completely wrong about that. And their target demographic is just rich people that kind of like Star Wars, which I guess maybe that's who they're catering to. But I cannot fork over a car when I have 2 kids to buy diapers for, because for $6,000, I would much rather buy a second car. I'm not going to fork that over when I have 2 kids. But if you give me that experience that I was talking about earlier with my suggestions, I'll happily save for 2 years, 3 years, just a little bit extra every month, and then have that be my, 30th birthday present. And I go and live in the Star Wars universe for 3 days. That would be worth it to me. But what we saw in the promo is not. So Disney, I doubt you're watching. I don't want you to think that I'm any kind of business person or telling you how to do things better. But these are the suggestions I have as a Star Wars fan. And that would just be what I have to say about that. So it's very tough solo streaming. This is not anything I'm comfortable with. I appreciate you guys all stopping by tonight to join me here on Korriban. And I will see you wherever I happen to see you in the galaxy.